The last sunrise on the Potomac. There's a cold that never leaves you. Not the kind that bites at your fingers or makes your teeth chatter. It's a deeper cold. A quiet, still cold that settles in your bones. It's the cold of the Atlantic, 70 years deep. The cold of silence. Of being the last one to leave a room that was once full of laughter. They pulled me from the ice, but I'm not sure all of me ever thawed out. The world thawed around me. It spun on, loud and fast and bright. A dizzying blur of glass towers and pocket-sized miracles. But part of me is still down there, in the dark, listening to the groan of the ice, waiting. My name is Steve Rogers. Most people don't know that name anymore, they know the other one. The one on the lunchboxes and the museum exhibits. And that's okay. He was necessary. He was the idea. A simple, clean idea for a complicated time. Good versus evil. Right versus wrong. Stand up for the little guy. I believed in it then. I believe in it now. But the man was just a kid from Brooklyn who hated bullies. A skinny asthmatic who kept getting back up, not because he was strong, but because he didn't know how to stay down. The serum. The shield. They didn't change that. They just made the punches I threw land a little harder. For a long time I thought the shield was me. This perfect, impossible circle. Unbreakable. It blocked bullets, energy blasts, even a god's hammer. It was a symbol of protection, of what we were supposed to be. But a shield has two sides. The one the world sees, bright with stars and stripes, and the other side, the one strapped to your arm. It's dark, bare metal. It's where you feel the impact of every single blow, every hit the world throws at you. You feel it resonate through your entire being. It becomes a part of you. The dents, the scratches, the ghosts of every fight. After a while, you can't tell the difference between the weight of the shield and the weight of the world. It was a promise I carried, and a cage. I remember waking up. The first thing I heard wasn't a voice. It was a baseball game on the radio. A game I knew, a game I'd been to. Jackie Robinson stealing second. I could smell the hot dogs, hear the crack of the bat. For a second, a beautiful, perfect second, I was home. Then I saw the lie, the wrong broadcast, the wrong uniforms on the people in the room. The truth hit me like a physical blow, a knockout punch from reality. Everyone I knew, everyone I ever loved, gone, dust. Memories in a history book I was now a part of. The loneliness of that moment, it was a chasm, wider and deeper than any ocean. I had won the war, only to lose the world. They tried to help. They gave me files, films, taught me how to use the internet. It was like trying to drink the ocean through a straw. 70 years of history, of progress and pain, of music and war and life, all happening while I slept. I saw us walk on the moon, and I felt a surge of pride. I saw us turn on each other over and over, and I felt a sorrow so profound it had no words. The world I fought for, it existed in flashes, in the courage of a firefighter, the kindness of a stranger, the laughter of a child. But it was surrounded by so much noise, so much anger. The lines I saw so clearly had been blurred into a hazy, complicated gray. My ghosts followed me, here. Bucky, my Bucky. He wasn't a file. He wasn't a ghost. He was my brother. My only link to the boy I was. To see what they had done to him. To see his eyes, the same eyes that I saw every day on the streets of Brooklyn, look at me with nothing inside. That was a wound the serum couldn't heal. They took him and hollowed him out, turned him into a weapon. A ghost that bled. The world wanted to put him down, to erase the red from his ledger. But you don't give up on family. You just don't. I would have torn the world apart to find the man I knew was still in there. And I almost did. That was the first crack in the shield. The moment I realized that sometimes, to do what's right, you have to stand against the very thing you swore to protect. Then there was Tony. He was his father's son, and not. Brilliant, arrogant, and more wounded than anyone knew. He built a suit of armor around his heart, and I was born in one. We were two sides of the same coin. The future and the past, locked in a constant argument about the present. I respected him. More than that, I grew to love him like a brother. He saw the world in equations and outcomes. I saw it in people. He wanted to put a suit of armor around the world, and I just wanted to make sure it was a world worth saving. We fought. We tore our family apart. And my biggest regret is that it took the end of everything for us to finally understand one another. He made the sacrifice play, the one I was always supposed to make. He was the man who had everything, and he gave it all. I was the man who had nothing, and I just wanted to go home. And Natasha, she saw the gray better than any of us. She lived in it. She taught me that you couldn't just trust the institutions, you had to trust the people. She saw through the symbol to the man underneath. She was the one who pulled me out of my own head, who told me to get a life. She found a family with us, a home. And in the end, she gave her life for it, for all of us. There's an empty space at the table now. A silence where her wry smile and quiet wisdom used to be. The ledger isn't red or black, it's just finished. And we are all the poorer for it. For so long, the mission was everything. The next threat, the next battle. Saving the world became a habit, a reflex. Get up, fight, save the day, go to sleep, repeat. But what happens when you're done? What happens when the war is over? You look around and see the cost, the empty chairs, the faces that exist only in photographs. You start to wonder what it was all for. Was it for the governments? The borders? The flags? I've seen governments fall. I've seen borders redrawn. And a flag is just a piece of colored cloth until you give it meaning. And I realized the meaning isn't in the symbol. It's in the people. It was never about saving the world. That's too big, too abstract. It was always about saving a person, one person. You stand up to the bully in the alley for the one kid he's picking on. You dive on the grenade for the men in your platoon. You walk through fire and ice for the one friend who doesn't remember you. You fight an army for the chance for one half of the universe to live. You don't do it for humanity. You do it for a human, for the person next to you. That's how you save the world. One person at a time. You hold the line. You stand your ground. You plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth, and you tell the whole world, no, you move. But a tree can't stand forever. Eventually, the roots get tired. The branches grow heavy. There was a dance. A promise I made to a woman in another lifetime. It was the one thing I held on to in the ice. The one selfish thought. A slow song in a warm room. It seemed like such a small thing, but it was everything. It was the life I never got to live. The man I never got to be. After we won. After the dust settled and the silence returned, I had a choice. For the first time, it wasn't a choice between right and wrong. It was a choice for me. I looked at the timeline, at all the branching paths, and I saw a little sliver of a life waiting for me. A life of quiet mornings and shared coffee, of growing old with the woman I loved, of peace. Some would say it was selfish, that I abandoned my post. But I think I finally understood what I'd been fighting for all along. It wasn't for the future of an abstract world. It was for the future of a home. For the right to have a life so quiet, so normal, that it didn't need a hero. I put down the shield. I went back. And I lived. I can still feel her hand in mine. The warmth of it. I remember the silver in her hair. The lines around her eyes when she smiled. We had a full life. A beautiful, simple, extraordinary life. We watched the world change together, from a quiet distance. I saw decades roll by not as history, but as days. Sunrises and sunsets, birthdays and holidays, the small, precious moments that make up a lifetime. The serum kept me going. It gave me the gift of time, and I spent it all with her. It was the best decision I ever made. The ultimate act of strength wasn't throwing the shield. It was letting it go. It was understanding that the mission wasn't to be Captain America forever. The mission was to make sure he wasn't needed anymore, to pass the torch, to trust that the world could find its own heroes. And it did. I see it in Sam. He's a good man. He carries that shield not because he has to, but because he chooses to. He doesn't carry it with the weight of the past, but with the hope of the future. He understands what that symbol is supposed to mean. Not a soldier, not a government agent, but a helper. A symbol that anyone from anywhere can stand up and do the right thing. He carries it for everyone. He's not a perfect soldier, but he's a good man, and that's always been enough. The sun is coming up now, over the Potomac. It paints the sky in shades of orange and pink. I've seen so many sunrises. In Brooklyn, in London during the Blitz, in the Arctic Circle, on alien planets. But this one feels different. It feels like an ending, a gentle closing of a very, very long book. My body is old now. The serum is just a whisper. I feel every one of my years, and I am grateful for them all. For the fight, and for the peace. For the friends I lost, and the love I found. For the kid from Brooklyn who got back up one last time. There's a quiet in my heart now. The chasm is gone. The ghosts are at peace. The cold is finally fading. The ice is melting. And for the first time in a long, long time, I feel warm.